Hey, welcome back. This is Gary Brackett with eXp Realty, and I'm joined with Dave Peters once again. And today, I want to talk about first-time home buyers. I think there's so many misconceptions with some people about are they ready to buy a home?
Right.
Do they have to put down 20%? What is the mortgage insurance? And all these other things. So I just want to set the record straight. Even a college scenario, if someone just got out of college. So what are some things that are eligible for first-time home buyers in today's market?
Well, there is a conventional first-time home buyer program, which is the cheapest program out there and makes the most sense. Now, there are some things you have to qualify for to get this, but it is a 3% down program with a discounted rate and discounted mortgage insurance, which is really good and slanted towards your first-time home buyer.
Right.
But there are some things that people need to know about a first-time home buyer. There is income limits, and that depends on what area you live in. It goes by county to county or state by state. So you really need to get with a mortgage professional to get you pre-approved and see what programs you really are approved for. I think the general consensus is out there, I got to be on a job 2 years and I got to have 20% down.
Right.
And if you're a college student, that's not truth, because if you just graduated, you got transcripts and you got your new job, your transcripts count as that 2 years of work history.
Wow.
Okay, so boom, right there's one obstacle out of the way. It's a 3% program. So boom, there's that 20%, 5% out of the way. But again, you need to get with a mortgage professional on that if you just don't know. I think a lot of people say, well, I want to buy a home, but I don't know, and they just kind of sit there. It's always best to go and get pre-approved by a true mortgage professional to find out what you really can obtain.
So this is, I call it champagne taste and Kool-Aid budget, right? So these are the people that want to buy this, this dream home as a first-time home buyer scenario.
Right.
And we've seen the market that, that shouldn't necessarily be the case. I think there's some stats that people should know about first-time home buyers in your first home. Can you share those with us?
Be smart.
Right.
First off, listen to your realtor, listen to your mortgage person, because if you have made that decision on, hey, this is my realtor, hey, this is my mortgage person, then you have trust in them. And if you have that trust, listen to them, because this is what they do. People, like you said, want to go out there and make that first time buy their dream home.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're smart about it and you buy within your budget, there is a stat out there that people don't know about, but most of the time, your first home is what you make the most equity off of.
Wow.
And I'll say that off of just myself and my wife.
Yeah.
First home we bought, 69.9. We had the home for 4.5 years. And that's typically the stat on a first time home is 4 to 5 years. You own it. We sold the home for $90,000. I mean, dollar for dollar, percentage wise, that's the most percentage wise and dollar for dollar that we've made off of a home, if you look at it, because when you do get into the higher end homes, the return's just not as good as your first home.
Right. So this is another statistic that rents are continuing to rise.
Yep.
So if you're a first time home buyer, to think, well, I'm just going to keep on renting and maybe wait till I'm ready. Right. And, I think as a realtor, one of the things is like, you're throwing that money away if you're renting.
Yes.
Where at least if you make a purchase on something that you can afford, something that meets your needs, then you're actually paying down the equity in that home.
Yes.
So in addition to that home price appreciating, you're also paying down some of that equity.
Absolutely, you're paying yourself.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you had to get a loan, so you're paying interest on it. Mm-hmm. But if you do the true stats to the interest you're paying, even at a 6.5 rate right now, compared to what the equity gain is over a 5-year period, and you paying down the mortgage, what the gain is, that far outweighs going and renting a place for $1,500 to $2,000 a month, compared to a house payment in between that range, to where you're paying yourself back.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if someone's getting prepared, right, they're getting ready to call you on the phone, to make what are some things in the meantime that they can do to just clean up, their finances and put themselves in the best position to be ready to buy their first home?
Well, first, what I say to people is be honest with yourself when it comes to your finances. If you're not honest with yourself, it's not going to come to fruition. So be honest with yourself. Hey, this is true money I have in the bank. I know what my credit is. I know the mistakes I've made. If you've got mistakes on your credit, everyone has those mistakes. get with a mortgage professional that can help you get your credit cleaned up if you need it, such as hospital collections. Those are a big one that are always on your credit. Or if you got some lates on there that you missed a credit card, just to find out what your true credit score is and what needs to be cleaned up. And again, that's going back to the mortgage professional to get direction.
Right. And I think you talked about one thing that comes into play is your debt to income ratio.
Right. So typically for a first-time home buyer on the conventional first-time home buyer program, it is in stone. You can't go over 45% on your back-end ratio. Well, what's a ratio? That would be what your monthly debt is on your credit report, such as a car payment, credit card debt, student loans, or an unsecured loan. Okay, that's what you see on a credit report. So that, whatever you're paying per month, plus the new house payment, is your debt to income as to what you can qualify for, and that's called your back-end ratio.
Okay.
For a first-time home buyer program, which we've talked about, you can't go over that 45%. Now, if you're just doing a regular conventional loan, it's 49% on the back-end ratio to your income.
Right, okay. So that makes a lot of sense. Make sure the ratio is down and call a mortgage professional up front because they can actually help you with your credit score.
Yes.
You don't have to wait till your credit is fixed and nice. Like, that's what part of your job is.
Right. A lot of your bigger mortgage companies, such as us, we have our own credit repair department.
Wow.
So if you truly do have some damaged credit, we can help you and direct you through this credit repair department that costs nothing to the consumer, and they will lead you down a pathway to get your credit clean. And then when it is clean, they'll tell you, hey, you're ready to go buy a home.
Wow, that's awesome. So where can they go to reach out to you to make this decision about buying their first home?
Right. You can contact me at dave.peters@thrivemortgage.com or contact me via cell 317-370-1969.
Well, thanks again, Dave. I think this is going to help a lot of people put them in position to buy their first home. And we're going to continue to give you value on these segments to make sure that you are aware of your options. It's all about options, people. Take advantage of your options in 2023. Buy your first home. Reach out to Dave or reach out to me to be your realtor at glbexp.com. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this page as we continue to bring you more content about your real estate needs.